Hello, my friends. Gonna give you all just a little bit of time to see that I am on live today. I'm excited to chat with you all here today. Today is the day after the holiday. I hope you guys all had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Happy Independence Day to all of my United States friends and family members. And if you're not in the United States, well, celebrate with us, right? I'm sure there's some kind of Independence Day for you and your country, right? Okay, so today it's been a few days since it's been a few weeks since I have done any other episodes. So I'm so thankful that you are still here with me, that you're still connecting in. We've had a little vacation. It's been wonderful. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so today, thank you for joining me for episode 98. The title of today's episode is called Enough is Enough. And I gotta take a breath before I continue because there's a little emotion involved in this. But let me back up. Let me start on my vacation. John and I took an 11-day vacation out west. It was fabulous. We'll have more videos and fun about that later. But one of our stops was in Custard, South Dakota, at a cute little resort called Roost Resort. So this is a more like cabin and campground type of resort. Highly recommend it. If you're ever in the Custard area, definitely recommend that you look up Roost Resort. We had these adorable little cabins, just a one-bedroom room with a little kitchenette and a bathroom and a campfire outside. It was beautiful. But I had been there. I had been there 30 years ago when I was a kid. It was called Buzzard's Roost back then, but now it's changed a little bit. But it was fun because it really looked the same to me, and it had a horseshoe pit exactly where I remember it. So I was making small talk with the owners. We were just getting the checkout details, and then also we were learning more about their pet pig. Yep, pet pig right in the backyard of our little cabin. He was adorable. He snorted as he walked. His name is Lincoln. So I was getting the details on all that, just making friendly conversation and kind of sharing my story about how I'd been there 30 years ago. And I said, how is everything coming out of the pandemic years? And the owners, I mean, this is truly a mom and pop shop. The owners do everything. They clean the cabins, they take care of the land, they live right there, they do everything. And he seemed tired. He seemed tired. So, as he was sharing, he was also cautious, and I said, when I asked, how is everything coming out of the pandemic? And he said, it's good. It's fine. But then he finally shared why his caution, I guess, while we were talking. He says, this is a mom and pop shop and we do everything. And we barely have time to clean the cabins before the next group of people comes in. The thing that's most exhausting is the entitlement in people. Wow. I was shocked to hear that. Now, in my world, I hear entitlement a lot, and it's usually connected to the millennial generation. That is a word that has been tagged to our Gen Yers or our millennials as the entitled generation. So I hear that a lot, but he just said it in a totally different context. And I did show my shock, and I said, what? He said, well, they buy a room for the night, and then 15 of their friends come over. They party all night. They trash the grounds, and they don't think anything of it. And if I say anything, they're very rude and very offended. I paid for my night's stay. I can do whatever I want, is their comment. Wow. And this is every generation. This isn't your Gen Yers. This is every type of person. He says even the people that maybe need another towel or they need a little extra something, they're just rude, and they just expect it in this entitled way, and they treat us like corporate America, and they're just rude. You know what? Enough's enough, right? Enough's enough. So I was sharing this story with one of my friends who owns a local business. Her name is Terry, and she said, oh yeah, entitled is exactly what we get in here from the locals, from people that come in often that we know who they are. They'll come in and say, get me this, get me that. They're just rude. Wow, really? I mean, really? Is this where our world has gone to? My friend Terry, I love this quote she shared. She told this to a customer. She said, "I'm here to serve you, but I'm not your servant. So quit treating me like low life. Quit talking to me in such a negative manner. Quit demanding things when I definitely have more people in the store. I have more people to serve who are much friendlier to me." Enough's enough. Enough's enough. One of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite maybe things to live by is assume the best. Assume the best, because when I truly have that mindset to assume the best, then I'm also assuming there's something I don't quite understand in the other person. Like when somebody cuts you off when they're driving, right? Maybe they're running to the hospital. Maybe they have a bigger emergency than you do. The other day in the grocery store, I'm really embarrassed to share this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if I'm disappointing you all. The other day in the grocery store, I was behind somebody who was parked right in the middle of the aisle. And as I came around the corner with my cart, I almost ran into her. And I did. I let out this sigh, and I said, "Excuse me," in my bratty little entitled manner. And as I was trying to scoot around her, she was gripping the cart and taking deep breaths and had her eyes closed. She kind of opened her eyes. She's like, "I'm sorry. I think I just had a contraction." I didn't know she was pregnant from the backside. I didn't know. Hello, did I look foolish? If I would just assume the best, that I would understand there's something that I don't understand, and it would save me the embarrassment, right? It'd save me from sticking my foot in my mouth and looking like a fool. Enough's enough. And when I say that, it's not just for you as a listener. It's right here. I'm pointing right back at myself. It's for me. It's for me. How often do I demand things, and my tone of voice and my eye formation, just my facial formation shows what a brat I am. Okay, well, here's taking it even a little further. When we were on vacation, we also went up to Glacier National Park in northern Montana. We were 10 miles from Canada. It was amazing. Make this on your future bucket list. And I'm talking about like within a year, because it was so gorgeous. So as we're driving up to Babb, which is one of the parks and the trails, we're talking about side of the mountain driving, and there's only enough room for 2 cars to go around, and you're literally, it's like S-curve driving around. It was crazy type of driving. And here's the biggest part. When we were driving up the mountain, my side of the car was next to the mountain. So I was cushioned. It was beautiful. When we were coming down the mountain, my side of the car was not next to the mountain. It was next to the drop-off cliff. It was crazy. There were no guardrails. It turned my stomach. It just, made me turn. So anyway, I got thinking, I am so thankful for those people that work on these roads. And there were no guardrails, but there were those little reflector signs periodically. So if it's snowing or if it's nighttime, you don't go off the cliff. But what if I did go off the cliff? I am also very thankful for emergency personnel. I'm so thankful for people who risk their lives. At Yellowstone, we weren't able to go to Yellowstone because it literally was closed the days we wanted to be there because of flooding that they had. There were 5 groups of campers in Yellowstone when the flooding happened. Emergency personnel needed to go in and help them get out. How often do I put myself in positions that expect people to come help me? And then when they get there, maybe I have an attitude, maybe I'm hangry, maybe I'm grumpy, maybe I'm dehydrated, and I'm just not all there. And, if it's nighttime, I don't need to be driving on those roads. If it's snowing, I don't need to be driving on those roads. I don't need to be putting people into positions, really risky positions. And I'm so thankful for those people, but I'm not entitled to their services. If they are risking themselves, how dare I expect them to save me for the sake of maybe not saving themselves? So it goes back to enough's enough. Enough's enough. When we were traveling, when we were in Glacier National Park and Custard State Park, and we were seeing the moose and we were seeing the bear, and okay, we didn't see bear. I'm really glad. But we did see moose. That was pretty cool. The people who are most respectful of the nature and the animals and the trails are the locals. It's the stupid tourists that push it way too far for a picture opportunity. On the trail, when we saw this big, ginormous moose with huge antlers, it was beautiful. He was eating. By the way, they can be mean, but when they're eating, they're uninterested in you. Well, we came on this walkway with a family of 4, and the 2 brothers, who are 18, 21 years old, went off the trail and went rock climbing. And I say that in quotes because there's no place to rock climb here. But they found this cliff with a cute little waterfall, and they just went through the path. If you go off the path, there's rattlesnakes, there's bear, there's moose. Who knows what you're going to stir up? And they're from Ohio, and they were off the trail, and they were not respecting the nature. Everything's okay. They got down okay, and they have a great story and a great adventure and adrenaline rush, and that's awesome. But when we saw the locals, they were the people who respected the bear. They were the people who were making noise when they walked through the woods because that helps keep the bear away. They were the people encouraging others to just follow the rules that have been laid out. Enough's enough, people. Please assume the best in others. We're all in this world together, and we all have jobs that make life better for other people. Whether you're in logistics, whether you're in serving, like restaurant serving, whether you're in computer programming or medical, everybody's job is to make it easier or better for somebody else. So please take a deep breath. Please consider your tone, consider your facial expressions, consider the words you choose. Because remember, if you're not assuming the best, you might look foolish. You might look foolish when the reality of it comes out, or you might look foolish when somebody else does it to you. Ugh, that just kills sometimes when I'm treated the same way I treat others. I'm sorry. I know my mom listens to my podcasts. I know my kids listen. I know my husband listens. I know my friends listen. I'm sorry for offense I've ever shared or I've ever done to you. I'm learning and growing too. But enough's enough. No more entitlement in any of us. Let's be great for the people around us. So, success to all of you in all that you do, but better success in your being. We'll see you next time.